theater organs were basically invented for the purpose of accompanying silent movies, providing the score for the movie. It's actually church organs that first were adapted, and one of the characteristics of the theater organ that sets it apart from the classical organ is the presence of acoustic percussion instruments. So we actually have drums and cymbals and castanets and so forth up in the chambers. And so aside from silent movie accompaniment, I often make use of them. For instance, for a film with a Latin American theme, I might play something like this. When I came to San Francisco in 1976, I had been studying organ, classical organ, for years, but was kind of going back to my roots as a pop organist. And so I started to look into the idea of playing popular music in the Bay Area, and I found that the Castro Theatre had installed a Kahn electronic organ to replace the original pipe organ that was here back when the theater was built in 1922. And I immediately began filling in for the organist here in '76. Then in 1978, the assistant organist left, and I became the official assistant organist. And gradually the theater organ was installed. The actual Wurlitzer, it's a private family that owns it. And by 1982, we were using this organ instead of the electronic. And the other organist, Albert Lachelle, who was in his 80s, retired about 1983, so I became the principal organist at that time, and have been responsible for 7 nights a week ever since. Certain composers from the golden age of Hollywood particularly intrigue me. Number one of which I suppose would be Erich Wolfgang Korngold, who was a great concert composer before he came to Hollywood, and his music translates to the organ very well. For instance, his theme for the 1942 feature King's Row, the one that starred Ronald Reagan so famously. And it's music that inspired John Williams to write the Star Wars theme. Another composer that I enjoy is Alfred Newman, the 20th Century Fox music director for 20 years, who wrote so many famous themes. One of them that works so well on the organ is his music from The Prisoner of Zenda.
Is there a movie that you can remember as a child seeing for the first time, or seeing that movie magic come to life on the screen as a little boy at all?
My first recollection of a movie was in Ludington, Michigan, and it was Alice in Wonderland, animated thing. And recently a friend of mine who has moved here from Michigan brought me a wall hanging from that Lyric Theater in Ludington, Michigan, where I saw my first movie, because he helped remove the organ from there a few years ago. So that's very special to me to have an artifact from the first theater that I ever attended. The song San Francisco has been the theme song for this theater forever, and I always enjoy playing that. It's something that, as I've said many times, I didn't know it when I first came here, coming in from Dayton, Ohio, and someone hummed it to me the first day that I subbed here, and I've played it and played it thousands of times since. But it really is what represents the essence of the city and the theater. So we always end with